to give a simile for what meditation is, because it's much easier to understand these things through similes. The simile I'm going to expand upon this evening is the simile of the lotus.
以下咧，我會用一個比喻嚟做一個介紹嘅，因為用比喻嘅時候咧，大家會比較容易接受。以下係一個關於蓮花嘅比喻。
I did mention this in brief on one of the early talks I gave on this talk.
我咧之前係簡單地喺我其中一個開示裏邊講過以上呢個比喻嘅。
This evening I'm going to explain it in detail.
今晚咧我就會詳細咁解釋呢個比喻。
It explains the different stages of meditation.
咁咧就會解釋咧唔同禪修嘅階段係乜嘢。
It also explains how natural these stages are.
亦都咧解釋咧呢啲階段係幾咁自然，佢會自己發生。
It answers the question, do I have to get into this stage? It's not a question if you have to, it's just what happens.
咁咧亦都會解釋到咧，我哋係咪必須要咧進入呢啲禪修階段嘅咧？
And it demonstrates how this path of meditation actually works.
咁咧亦都解釋到咧呢個禪修嘅道路咧係點樣去運作。
So, the simile of the lotus begins when the lotus is closed up at night time.
蓮花嘅比喻咧，一開始嘅時候咧，就係一個晚上嘅時候咧，呢個蓮花咧係尚未開花嘅。
And in the early morning, when the sun rises, the warmth and the light of the sun open up the outermost layer of petals.
早上太陽升起嘅時候咧，太陽嘅溫度同埋佢嘅太陽嘅溫度咧嘅溫暖咧，就開始慢慢將蓮花最外層嘅花瓣咧綻開佢。
Allowing the warmth and the light of the sun to hit the next layer of petals.
令到太陽嘅光線同埋佢嘅溫暖咧，可以照射喺第二層嘅花瓣嗰度。
So they open up, revealing the next layer of petals.
咁第二層嘅花瓣亦都打開咗咧，咁令到我哋睇到更加深一層嘅花瓣。
The warmth and the light of the sun hit those petals, and they open up. So layer after layer of petals opens up one after the other.
如此類推咧，咁一層一層嘅花瓣咧就慢慢打開啦。
And the simile of the lotus is useful because the outermost petals are always the most unpromising.
呢個蓮花嘅比喻咧係非常有效咧，因為咧蓮花最外層嘅花瓣咧，其實咧係未必係最可靠嘅花瓣嚟。
If you did not know a lotus and you saw one that was closed up, you would never think that inside that coarse and dirty and rough outermost layer of petals there would be such beauty and fragrance inside.
如果大家係未睇過嘅時候咧，就唔會知道原來咧喺一啲咁粗糙啦，同埋未必係咁靚嘅外層嘅花瓣以內咧，係有啲咁靚同埋咁香嘅花瓣喺裏面。
And a human being, when they haven't opened up, they're rough and coarse. And you'd never believe that inside each one of you is this beautiful layer of petals.
如果一個人咧係未認清楚自己嘅實相係咩嘅時候咧，佢係唔會清楚原來我哋嘅身體裏邊咧係有啲咁靚嘅嘢喺我哋嘅體內嘅。
You can understand this simile. You will understand why people say inside all beings is Buddha nature, beauty, bliss.
如果你係認真地理解呢句説話嘅時候咧，你就會明白點解每個人身體裏邊都有種佛性喺裏邊。
Now the thing is, how do we open ourselves up to see what's deeply inside?
但係咧困難地方就係咧，究竟點樣咧，我哋先可以咧睇到我哋深層嘅實相係乜嘢？
And this is precisely the process of meditation, going deep inside oneself.
呢個咧就係正正係禪修嘅功效啦。
And seeing the incredible beauty and bliss that lies inside.
去睇咧，我哋生命裏邊咧非常之靚同埋非常之喜悅嘅事。
And just like opening a lotus, you need the warmth and the light.
就好似一個蓮花咁樣啦，我哋要打開個蓮花嘅花瓣嘅時候咧，我哋係需要咧光線同埋溫度。
Which in meditation represents the kindness and the mindfulness.
咁喺禪修裏邊咧，咁正如禪修裏邊咧，我哋需要咧正念啦，同埋友善。
Now that's all you need to open up and go deep inside.
呢兩個因素咧，就係咧令到我哋可以睇到深層實相嘅兩個主要因素。
All the way, all you need is mindfulness and kindness.
成個路程裏，成個過程裏邊咧，只係需要呢兩個因素嘅。
So if ever you have the question in meditation, I'm at this stage, what should I do now? The answer is always the same.
所以咧，當你禪修嘅時候咧，你遇到唔同嘅問題咧，我嘅答案咧仍然都係會一樣嘅。
Just be mindful, just be kind.
保持大家嘅正念同埋友善。
If you practice like that, you go into the deepest stages of meditation.
如果你係咁樣收集落去嘅時候咧，你就會去到咧非常深層次嘅禪定。
It is all the other things we do which stop us going inside.
係如果我哋做到唔係以上嘅其他嘢嘅時候咧，就會阻礙到我哋咧進入更加深層次嘅禪定。
So I'll talk about the obstacles and problems in meditation later.
所以咧，我將會喺稍後時間咧開示禪修嘅障礙係乜嘢。
Now I will describe what happens if you are just mindful and kind.
以下咧，我會描述咧，如果我哋係保持住正念同埋友善嘅時候咧，有咩會發生？
The outermost layer of you is this body.
我哋嘅最外層咧就係我哋嘅身體啦。
And the first stage of meditation is learning how to sit comfortably.
第一個階段嘅禪修咧，就要學習咧點樣可以舒適地坐落。
You're aware of your body and you are kind to her or it.
你留意到自己嘅身體，而且對你嘅身體係非常之友善。
That is why we have chairs in the back.
呢個就係點解我哋禪堂背後會有凳喺度啦。
People in Asian countries can be very stupid. They think the only way they can get enlightened is sitting on the floor.
喺亞洲地區咧，啲人咧有時候會比較愚蠢嘅，佢哋可能會認為咧，只可以坐喺地下上面先可以開。
After a day or two, you get sore knees, sore back, sore bum, everything sore.
一兩日之後咧，你可能咧會發覺腳痛啊，身體唔同嘅部分都會開始有疼痛嘅現象。
And you think that you are very good, you endure lots of pain.
但係你以為咧自己係好好，但雖然咧你係不斷咁感受到痛楚嘅感覺。
If pain was the key to enlightenment, all the prisoners on Guantanamo Bay will be fully enlightened by now.
如果咧痛楚咧係達到開悟嘅一個橋梁嘅時候咧，喺監獄裏邊嘅唔同嘅監犯咧，其實佢哋已經可以達到開悟嘅境界啦。
Does torturing yourself make you wise?
令到自己不斷折磨自己咧，係咪一種明智嘅做法
The very first teaching of the Buddha was to say, do not torture or torment your own body.
佛陀嘅第一個教導咧就係話咧，千祈唔好咧去折磨自己嘅身體。
If your body is aching, if it's in pain, if it's stiff while you're meditating, you are not practicing the path of the Buddha.
如果我哋發現身體係疼痛啦，或者係有繃緊嘅跡象嘅時候咧，我哋就唔係踏上緊佛堂嘅道路。
In my meditation center in Perth, there are more people meditating on chairs than there are sitting on the floor.
喺我喺柏斯嘅禪修中心嗰度咧，係比較多人咧係坐喺凳上面禪修多過坐喺地下上面禪修嘅。
And they get very beautiful deep meditation.
但係咧，佢哋係可以進入啲非常美麗同埋非常之深入嘅禪定狀態。
So do not be stupid.
所以咧，大家唔好咁愚蠢。
Don't just keep sitting on the floor when you are aching and in pain.
當你係有疼痛嘅情況嘅時候咧，就唔好堅持坐喺地下上面。
This is learning how to be kind to your body.
咁樣咧係學習咧點樣去對自己嘅身體友善嘅。
You will find that if there's an ache or a pain or a problem in the body will not be able to disappear.
你會發現咧，如果身體有疼痛啦，或者有其他毛病嘅時候咧，身體咧係唔會消失。
You will spend hour after hour after hour just dealing with superficial pain and aches.
大家只會咧用好多嘅時間咧去浪費喺一啲表面嘅疼痛上面。
You will maybe become wise about the nature of pain, but you'll never transcend it.
大家咧可能會對痛苦嘅本質咧會變得非常之有智慧，但係咧我哋唔可能夠超越呢個狀態。
For 6 years, the Buddha endured pain.
連續6年嘅時間咧，佛陀咧係不斷咁樣享受緊佢嘅痛苦。
He got nowhere.
但係咧佢係唔能夠有任何突破。
And he said, don't do that.
佛陀亦都話啦，千祈唔好咁樣做。
But even to this day, people think that they are getting somewhere, that they are advanced if they can endure pain.
但係咧，直到今日咧，仍然有人咧係堅持咁樣做嘅。佢哋覺得咧，如果咧佢係能夠咁樣保持喺一個疼痛嘅狀態咧，佢可以去到一啲非常之高嘅層次。
You don't get anywhere close to enlightenment that way.
但係咧，如果用呢個方法嘅時候咧，係唔能夠咧去接近咧解脫嘅狀態。
Your job is to be aware and kind enough to your body, so the body relaxes, so it can disappear.
我哋嘅工作其實咧係要留意對自己身體啦，同埋對自己身體友善啦。
It is similar but not the same to when you go to bed at night.
咁樣咧有一個非常之相似，但係又唔係相同嘅經驗。
If you have an ache or a pain in the body, can you let the body go and disappear into sleep?
咁如果咧我哋睡眠嘅時候咧，如果係身體疼痛嘅時候咧，我哋可唔可以放低咗自己嘅身體咧？
It is the aches, the pains, the stress in the body which cause you insomnia.
其實正正咧係因為身體嘅繃緊啦、疼痛啦或者其他嘅問題咧，係令到大家失眠。
So, when you go to bed, the difference is you have a very tired mind. In meditation, your body disappears and your mind is alert.
咁咧，當大家睡眠嘅時候咧，其實咧大家身體嘅狀態非常之疲累嘅，但喺禪修嗰度咧，其實個身體咧係要變得非常之有警覺性。
So, in retreats you have little cushions. I'm sure you can find a cushion in your room maybe, or a pillow. If one cushion is not enough, get some more.
禪修營裏邊咧，大家咧可能會發覺自己間房間裏面有 cushion 啦，或者咧有其他嘅方法去令到自己舒服。
In the West, there is a whole industry making meditation cushions and stools.
喺西方社會嗰度咧，有啲行業咧係專程咧係製造呢啲禪修嘅 cushion 或者係其他嘅工具。
They are always innovating to make an ever more comfortable meditation cushion.
佢哋咧係非常有創意地咧，不斷製造一啲咧係令到大家更加舒服嘅禪修 cushion。
Soon you'll be able to get a meditation cushion. You can press a button and it can inflate, lift you up, or go down if it's too high.
可見嘅將來咧就嚟會產生一種 cushion 咧，就當大家撳嗰個掣嘅時候咧，佢會咧就不斷個 cushion 會不斷膨脹，就會將大家嘅身體咧係會不斷咁升高嘅。
It can be molded to the shape of your bottom, so there's nothing which is pushing in or pushing out.
或者咧個 cushion 咧係會令按照住大家嘅臀部嘅線條咧，佢可以改變佢嘅形狀。
You'll be able to press another button to warm it up or cool it down to make it just right.
或者咧可以撳第二個掣咧，可以調校佢嘅溫度咧，係調校佢嘅冷熱咧，令到個溫度係啱好。
And another attachment so you can make yourself a cup of coffee without getting up from the seat.
另外一個掣咧可以撳落去之後咧，可以沖一杯咖啡出嚟，就大家唔使嚟做就可以飲咖啡。
So these are state-of-the-art, first-class, the Ferraris of meditation cushions.
呢個咧亦都係世界級咧頂級嘅世界級嘅國際級嘅 cushion 嚟。
And why do they do this? Because it is important to keep you comfortable.
點解要咁做咧？其實咧重點咧係要令到大家變得非常之舒服。
And when you are comfortable, you can sit for a long time without worrying about your body.
當大家係舒服嘅時候咧，大家可以長時間地禪修咧，而唔需要咧去擔心自己嘅身體嘅狀況係點樣。
The body can disappear, so you can learn how to relax the mental world.
當嗰個時候咧，身體就會消失啦。與此同時咧，大家就可以學會放鬆大家嘅心理狀態係點。
So please, on this retreat, eat well, sleep well, bathe well, look after your body.
所以喺呢個大禪修營裏邊咧，請大家咧好好咁瞓覺啦，好好咁沖涼。
And then you can let the body disappear.
好好照顧自己嘅身體，咁咧就可以令到自己嘅身體咧消失。
Through mindfulness and kindness, this outermost layer of petals, your body, opens up so all you see is what's inside.
透過正念同埋友善咧，第一層最外層嘅花瓣就會慢慢打開啦，咁咧就可以令到我哋睇清楚更加深入嘅實相係乜嘢。
Which is your mental world.
就係我哋嘅精神現象。
And whatever we see in that mental world, when the body is no longer a problem, again we are aware and we are kind to that mental world.
當我哋睇到自己嘅心理狀態嘅時候咧，咁我哋要對佢非常之友善。
We relax so there are no more burdens.
我哋要放鬆啦，咁咧令到自己嘅心理狀態咧係冇任何嘅負擔嘅。
The first burdens which we let go of, or rather which disappear in the mental world, are past and future.
喺我哋嘅心理裏邊咧，第一個要學習放開嘅咧，就係我哋嘅負擔咧，就係我哋嘅過去同埋未來。
I'm not talking about Eckhart Tolle's books. This is from the Bhaddekarata Sutta of the Buddha.
我咧就唔係講緊任何一本書嘅，其實咧我係引用緊佛陀一個經典。
Did you manage to translate that, Bhaddekarata? No, you didn't. Never mind, it's one of the Buddha's sutras.
唔緊要，呢個係其中一個佛教嘅經典。
It is what happens when we are kind and aware. We literally give ourselves the gift of being at peace in the present moment.
咁咧，當我哋咧能夠係正面同埋友善嘅時候咧，我哋就可以攞到呢份咁美妙嘅禮物。
Just like aches and pains in the body are the first obstruction to be overcome.
就正如咧喺身體上面嘅疼痛或者所有嘅繃緊狀態咧，係我哋阻礙我哋進入禪修更深入嘅禪修狀態嘅第一層嘅障礙。
The ache of holding on to the past, the pain of worrying about the future, those are also let go of.
我哋咧執着喺過去或者未來嘅所有嘅痛苦咧，亦都係第二層會阻礙住我哋禪修嘅呢啲障礙。
And that is essential to get into any type of deep meditation.
咁咧呢樣嘢學習放下呢啲嘢係必須嘅，因為咧如果當我哋要進入呢更加深嘅禪修狀態嘅時候。
So in this meditation retreat, don't ever bring into the present moment anything to do with the past, even what happened a moment ago. All the retreats you've been on before, where you've come from, let all of that go.
所以喺今次呢個禪修營裏邊咧，請大家咧就唔好將所有嘅過去咧帶嚟而家嘅當下呢一刻嗰度啦，包括你大家之前所有嘅禪修嘅營嘅經驗啦，或者之前所有發生過嘅事，請你唔好帶入。
All that you've ever known and learned that belongs to the past, let that go.
大家咧之前呢啲係大家屬於大家之前學習或者係經歷過嘅嘢嚟嘅，請你將呢啲嘢放低佢。
Never allow your learning to stand in the way of truth.
請唔好將大家之前學過嘅嘢咧，去成為大家咧追求真理之間嘅一種障礙。
Learning belongs to the past. Truth belongs to the present.
學習咧係屬於過去嘅，咁咧真相咧真理咧係屬於現在嘅。
And don't let your mind run away into the future.
亦同時咧唔好令到大家嘅心咧係跑去未來嗰度。
You miss so much of life by worrying about what's coming next.
當大家去擔心將來會發生緊咩嘅時候咧，其實錯過咗好多生命上面嘅精彩。
Even during this meditation retreat, if ever the thought comes up, what should I do next? Then you've lost the plot.
甚至咧，當喺一個禪修營裏邊咧，大家心裏邊冒起呢個念頭，之後會發生咩事嘅時候咧，其實咧呢個都你呢個時候咧，你已經輸咗㗎啦。
In meditation, there is no next.
喺禪修嘅時候咧，係冇下一項做乜嘢呢樣嘢。
Only what is happening now.
只有咧喺呢一刻咧做緊乜嘢。
That if you can be kind enough to let yourself be free of the past and future, then you've gone into this next level of meditation called present moment awareness.
咁如果大家係能夠友善地將大家嘅過去同未來放下嘅時候咧，其實咧我哋可以進入另外一個階段嘅禪修咧，就係咧靜靜地咧覺知當下。
If you can't achieve that, it means you're very addicted to worrying about the future, that you're very attached to the past.
咁如果大家達唔到呢個階段嘅時候咧，其實咧就係話咧，大家係非常之沉醉於大家嘅過去同埋未來嘅。
But if you just follow the instructions, be mindful and kind, you'll find the mind just goes into the present moment and it feels so wonderfully at peace.
咁如果大家係保持住正念同埋友善嘅時候咧，其實咧大家嘅心咧會變得非常之平靜落。
And you do not need to be concerned. If I let go of the past, what will happen to me?
大家應該唔需要擔心咧，如果大家放低咗大家嘅過去嘅時候，究竟有咩事會發生
If I don't plan the future, everything will go wrong.
如果我唔去計劃將來嘅時候咧，所有事情咧都會出錯。
During this retreat, what do you have to plan? Nothing.
喺呢個禪修營裏邊，大家要計劃啲乜嘢咧？其實咩都唔需要。
There are no bells. You don't have to get up at a certain time. You don't have to plan anything.
呢度冇鬧鐘啦，大家唔需要喺一個特定時間起身嘅，大家唔需要去計劃任何。
You don't have to plan breakfast or lunch or refreshments. It's just you go there and it's already there for you.
大家唔需要大家計劃自己嘅早餐、午餐或者係所有嘅茶點啦。當你去到嘅時候，嗰啲嘢已經齊備咗俾你啦。
On a retreat, there's no reason to plan anything.
喺個禪修營裏邊咧，係冇任何需要去計劃任何。
You're totally free of having to worry about the future.
大家咧係唔需要咧去為未來而擔心。
If you don't come on time to any of the talks or meditations, I'm going to congratulate you. Well done.
如果大家喺任何嘅開示裏面遲到咧，我就會非常之恭喜你。
All these other people always have to come on time. They are so attached to worrying.
其他人咧就非常之擔心，因為佢咧就要非常之要令到自己準時嘅，咁為此而擔心。
So I challenge each one of you to be late for the talk at least once during this retreat.
所以咧，我以下咧就希望挑戰大家啦，大家咧喺呢個禪修營裏邊咧，最少咧喺我嘅開示裏邊咧，請大家遲到一次。
Most of you will be unable to do that.
但係大多數人咧係喺在個當中咧係未必能夠做到。
Just your ego, your sense of self will prevent you.
大家嘅自我意識同埋大家嘅就會阻礙住大家做呢樣嘢。
10 or 15 minutes before, you'll think, "Oh, I have to get to the talk. I have to get to the talk."
10至15分鐘之前咧，大家嘅心裏邊咧就會同自己咁講啦，我要去出席今次嘅開示。
That shows you how attached we are to the future.
咁樣咧，其實呢樣嘢就證明咗大家對大家之後嘅將來咧係幾咁之執着嘅。
So see in this meditation, if you can let go of time and just be.
嘗試喺呢個禪修營裏邊咧，睇下可唔可以放下對時間嘅所有觀念咧，就只係咧就令到自己咧係得着重於當下呢刻。
When you realize how much of a prison, a torture camp is time, then maybe you will come with me into the present moment.
當大家咧理解一啲時間咧，原來係一種 一個牢獄式嘅一種折磨嘅時候咧，大家咧就會學習放下時間咧，就學習跟我一齊學習咧，着重於當下。
Which means you're just sitting here. You haven't got an idea of what day it is, what time it is. You don't care. It's just now.
就好似咧你學習坐喺度嘅時候咧，你忘記咗所有咧時間嘅觀念啦，包括你唔記得咗今日係咩日子啦，或者今日係星期幾啦。
And if anybody asks you what time it is, you say it's now minutes past the nowth hour of the nowth day of the nowth month of 2009.
當有人咧問你咧今日係咩日子嘅時候咧，你嘅答案咧就係現在年、現在月、現在日、現在時、現在分。
Can you imagine how free you will feel?
你可唔可以想像到咧呢個情況之下咧，你自己會幾咁自由咧
So that is just an inner layer of petals which is not deep yet. Even that is so beautiful.
呢個咧其實係一種內裏嘅花瓣嚟嘅，雖然咧就未入到最深嘅花瓣，但係已經係非常之靚。
So this is what will happen in your meditation. You have no idea of past or future, no idea of time.
呢個咧就係禪修裏邊咧會發生嘅其中一件事，大家咧就會忘記咗大家嘅過去同埋未來啦，大家亦都冇將所有已有嘅時間觀念拋開咗佢。
The sign that you have achieved at least that much is you sit in meditation, and when you open your eyes, oh my goodness, that's 2 hours have gone by, 3 hours have gone by. It just was like a moment.
當大家去到呢個狀態嘅時候咧，其實咧已經如果去到呢個狀態忘記咗時間觀念嘅時候咧，大家咧就會能夠做到一樣嘢，就係眯埋眼。當大家離開禪修狀態嘅時候咧，雖然過咗2-3個鐘咧，就好似過咗1秒咁樣嘅啫。
Other people, the stupid ones, they think half an hour I usually sit meditation. This retreat I'm going to do 45 minutes.
有啲比較愚蠢嘅人咧就會話啦，我平時咧就會禪修30分鐘嘅，所以咧我要入到呢個禪修營嘅時候咧，我必須要禪修45分。
This retreat I'm going to do 2 hours.
喺呢個禪修營裏邊咧，我一定會要禪修到2個小時。
This retreat I'm going to sit without moving all night.
喺呢個禪修營裏邊咧，我咧係要全晚咧唔喐咁樣禪修。
Ajahn Brahm would call that chicken meditation.
咁咧亞姜查咧就會用以下嘅嚟描述佢咧，就好似一隻雞嘅禪修。
He said that's what chickens do. Guy does. Is that right? Is that Hokkien? Yes, the same as Thai. The Thai word for chicken is also guy.
咁咧呢隻咧就好似雞嘅禪修咁樣。
We call that guy meditation.
咁咧我哋就會用咧雞嘅禪修嚟描述佢。
Because chickens sit for hours on the eggs every day, but they never get enlightened, never once.
咁咧，因為啲雞咧就會喺佢嘅蛋上面咧全日咁樣坐喺度啦。但係咧，雖然佢咁長時間坐啦，但係一直都開唔到。
So anyone who decides they're going to sit for hour after hour to beat their record, we call that chicken meditation.
當大家咧係長時間咁坐，希望去打破任何嘅紀錄嘅時候咧，我哋就用雞嘅禪修咧嚟描述呢啲禪修者。
So if you sit for long periods, it is just natural. That is just what happens when you get into the present moment.
如果大家係咁樣坐嘅時候咧，其實咧係好自然地咧去進入咗呢啲當下呢刻。
I like to tell this story just to inspire you. In a 9-day meditation retreat in Sydney.
我希望用以下嘅故事咧去啟發大家喺一個喺悉尼嘅9日禪修營團
，which was led by a Vietnamese monk.
有一個越南籍嘅法師嚟主理嘅。
They met on Friday evening. The schedule was half an hour meditation, and then the monk would give the first talk.
咁咧當佢哋晚上開始嘅時候咧，其實個時間係咁樣嘅。咁當佢哋進行咗30分鐘禪修之後咧，就會開始。
After 30 minutes, the monk hadn't come out of meditation.
但係30分鐘之後咧，個法師咧就仍然未離開佢嘅禪式定狀態。
After 1 hour, the monk still hadn't come out of meditation.
1小時之後咧，法師仍然咧離開佢嘅禪定狀態。
After 2 hours, he was just sitting in front of people, perfectly still.
2小時之後咧，佢仍然咧係非常之靜止咁坐喺一班群眾前面。
So all the people on retreat They thought they're not going to get a talk tonight, so they all went to bed, and the monk was still sitting there perfectly still.
參加者咧就以為咧嗰晚咧佢唔會聽到任何開示咯，所以咧佢就翻房間瞓覺，但係咧個法師仍然係坐喺度非常之靜止地。
When they got up in the morning, the monk was still sitting there perfectly still.
第二朝起身咧，嗰位法師仍然都係非常靜止咁坐喺同一個位置。
When they went for breakfast, the monk was still sitting there perfectly still.
食早餐嘅時候咧，嗰位法師仍然都係咁靜止咁坐喺嗰個位置。
He did not move for 8 days.
佢係連續8日咧係完全冇移動過自己嘅位置嘅。
No going to toilet, no drinking glass of water or eating food. He just sat there, like Buddha statue, for 8 days.
冇任何嘅去洗手間啦、飲水啦、進食啦，佢就好似嗰個佛像咁樣咧，連續坐咗喺個位置8日。
That's cool.
呢個咧係非常之有型。
After 8 days, he came out of his meditation and apologized for not giving any Dharma talk.
8日之後咧，佢離開佢禪定狀態咧，就對大家致歉啦，咁就同大家講話唔好意思，我冇作出任何開示。
But all the people on retreat said, "No, that was so inspiring. Well done."
咁但係咧，其他嘅禪修嘅參加者就話啦，唔係啊，咁樣係非常之有啟發性嘅，做得非常之好。
That is what happens when you get into stillness.
呢個咧就係當大家進入咗靜止狀態嘅時候會發生嘅事。
Time has no meaning anymore.
時間消失咗有所有嘅意思咯。
You're free of the burden and suffering of time.
大家咧從時間嘅折磨同埋負擔之中解脫出嚟。
And it's not that hard to get into the present moment and just feel that freedom.
其實咧要集中喺當下咧，其實唔係太困難嘅啫。
It's just what happens when you're mindful and calm and kind.
當大家咧能夠做到係友善同埋正念嘅時候咧，就會達到呢個境界。
And the second thing which happens when you go inside the present moment, right inside the center of the present moment, there's always silence.
第二樣嘢咧，當大家咧開始進入咧當下呢刻嘅深處嘅時候，會發覺另外一樣嘢咧就係咧寧靜。
When you really get into the center of now, there's no space, there's no time to say anything or give a comment.
當大家咧係進入當下呢刻嘅深處嘅時候咧，大家會發現唔到任何嘅時間或者空間。
So when you do get into the present moment, just be peaceful, just be calm, just be mindful, just be kind, and the silence comes.
當大家進入當下呢個狀態嘅時候咧，請繼續保持正念同埋友善啦，咁呢種寧靜就會自然浮起。
You're just aware with no thinking going on.
你咧只不過咧係非常之留意嘅啫，咁咧就完全冇思考嘅狀態。
And you'd realize just how deceptive are all these thoughts.
咁咧你就會留意到咧，所有嘅思維咧係幾咁之有干擾性。
It is the thoughts which make us argue with our friends.
正正係呢啲思維咧係令到我哋同朋友發生爭執。
It is the thoughts which separate us from Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. It's only thoughts which separate us.
正正係因為思維咧，令到上座部啦，同埋大乘佛教同埋之後嘅密宗咧係令分開咗嘅。
As the silence, they have a saying that silence is golden.
關於寧靜咧，有一句説法就係話咧，沉默是金。
And the price of gold has increased ever since the GFC, so silence is even more valuable than ever before.
自從 GFC 之後咧，金價其實不斷提升嘅，所以寧靜嘅價格咧亦都係隨之不斷提升。
And of course, it is so wonderful. The world is so noisy. The people make so much sound. To be silent is to be free.
寧靜咧係非常之值得享受嘅，正正係因為呢個世界係咁多嘈雜同埋有咁多人發出聲響嘅時候咧，寧靜係更加可貴。
So what happens? Just through mindfulness and kindness, the mind calms down so much there's nothing more to say.
當大家咧係去用係用友善同埋正念去專注落去嘅時候咧，成個心會變得安靜。
Now I say that particular stage of being in the present moment and silent is what real mindfulness is. Before you've only been sort of playing around with mindfulness. Now you truly are mindful.
呢個階段咧係當大家保持住正念同埋友善嘅時候咧，其實咧呢個就係我稱為真真正正嘅正念啦。咁當大家可以去將正念弄於掌上之前。
The past is a memory which you always bend to suit what you want.
過去咧，其實咧，大家去將佢扭曲啦，去令到去扭曲咗咧，折射到自己而家呢一刻想睇到嘅嘢咩
？And the future is just a fantasy; it's never real.
但係咧，呢個全部都係啲假象嚟嘅。
So if you're aware of the past and future, it's not mindfulness; it's just playing around.
當大家咧係對未來或者過去咧係保持正念嘅時候咧，其實呢啲唔係真真正嘅正念，只不過咧大家係周圍玩嘅啫。
And all your thoughts, they're just an inaccurate description of something. They never really go to the heart of anything.
所有嘅思維咧係對一啲實相咧一啲不如實嘅描述嚟嘅，佢唔係真真正對啲實相嘅反應。
It is the thoughts that deceive us.
正正係呢啲思維咧，佢係欺騙咗我。
It is the silence which tells us what the truth is.
寧靜咧先係真真正話俾我哋聽實相係乜嘢。
So just to establish mindfulness is to get to the stage of present moment awareness and silence.
當我哋要達到寧靜嘅狀態嘅時候咧，就其實咧我哋係要建立呢種咧寂靜地觀察當下嘅能力。
When all that noise of past, future and thinking has disappeared, then you can be aware. 當所有過去、現在或者所有嘅思維嘅干擾咧消失嘅時候咧，我哋先可以留意到當下。And as long as you follow the instructions and your body is comfortable, what you are aware of will be your breath. 當大家係保持住正念啦，同埋大家跟隨住指示嘅時候咧，大家會留意到，剩低留意到咧，只不過係我哋嘅呼吸。Doing breath meditation is not a choice; it's just what happens. 觀呼吸嘅禪修呢個方法咧，唔係一種刻意嘅選擇嚟嘅，只不過係一種自然嘅會發生嘅事。And some people say, oh, maybe today I'll do breath meditation, tomorrow I'll do loving kindness meditation, the next day I'll do vipassana. That is rubbish. 有啲人就會話啦，今日咧我會用觀呼吸禪修嘅方法，聽日我會修慈心禪，後日咧我就會用內觀嘅方法，但係咧呢啲全部都係唔係正確方法，呢啲全部都係垃圾。When you let go, when you open the lotus, this is just what happens. It's beyond your choice. You become aware of your breathing. 當我哋咧係學習放下啦，當大家開始慢慢打開花瓣嘅時候咧，其實咧觀呼吸呢個方法咧係會自然地發生。Now many people do breath meditation. They decide to do breath meditation, and it's always very difficult. 有啲人咧就決定咗咧去用觀呼吸禪修呢個方法咧，但係發覺非常之困難。Basically, they're not ready to watch their breath. They haven't done preparation. 但係基本上咧，佢哋咧係未預備好咧去觀察自己嘅呼吸嘅，佢哋未做好任何嘅預備工作。And when they do observe their breath, they always control it. 佢咧當觀察到呼吸嘅時候咧，佢嘗試去控制住自己嘅呼吸。It takes too much effort. 但係咧太浪費大家嘅精力。Whenever there's effort, you can't relax or be peaceful. 當大家要費勁咗一件事嘅時候咧，你嘅心係唔能夠平靜落嚟。So too many people they do breath meditation rather than letting breath meditation happen. 有啲人咧係去，所以有好多人咧係會刻意咁令到觀呼吸禪修呢個方法發生，就唔會令佢自己咁發生。And they never go deep and enjoy the bliss of meditation. 正因為咁樣咧，佢唔能夠深入到一啲比較深嘅禪修狀態，令到自己享受禪修呢個過程。So if you follow this path, you'll find right in the middle of the silence, you'll see the breath. 當你用呢個方法嘅時候咧，你會發覺咧，大家喺寧靜嘅時候咧，就會留意喺寧靜嘅狀態會留意到自己呼吸係點樣。It is just like the petals of the lotus. The petal of silence opens up, and inside you see your breathing.
正如咧係一個蓮花喺寂靜嘅狀態會慢慢綻放嘅一樣啦。
And if you follow that path, the breath is always very peaceful and very delightful.
當你跟隨住呢個方法嘅時候咧，你嘅呼吸咧係會變得非常之平和同埋美妙嘅。
Because it is pleasant to observe, you don't need to put effort in.
正因為大家嘅呼吸咧係非常之美妙嘅啦，所以咧大家唔需要咧擺任何嘅精力去觀察佢。
You don't grasp the meditation object. The meditation object attracts your attention because it's delightful.
你唔需要去費勁執取個禪修對象係乜嘢，因為個禪修對象正會自然咁吸引咗你。
So you watch the breath go in and go out.
你就慢慢咁觀察你嘅呼吸咧進入同埋呼出嚟。
Not just one or two or three breaths, many breaths, one after the other.
唔係淨係一個兩個嘅呼吸，而且咧係一個一個不斷連續落去嘅呼吸。
Because you're relaxed and still, there's nothing to disturb you.
因為你係放鬆咗嘅狀態之下咧，係冇嘢可以騷擾到你。
You don't have to force yourself.
你唔需要去強迫自己。
It's just like you put the teddy bear down. You don't have to force the teddy bear to be still. It's its nature to be still.
正如咧你放低咗個啤啤熊一樣咧，佢就會自然靜止落嚟。
I don't have to say, teddy bear, be still, or else you'll be punished.
我唔需要咧去命令個啤啤熊啦，你就同我靜低落嚟啦。如果唔係嘅話，會罰。
It's the nature of teddy bears to be still.
啤啤熊嘅本質咧，其實佢係會靜落嚟嘅。
Just like your breath, it just goes in and goes out, goes in and goes out. Everything becomes calm.
就正如我哋呼吸嘅話咧，佢會自然地進入同埋呼出嚟啦，咁就會每個呼吸都會平靜嘅。
Now, because you're becoming more and more calm, there's more energy of your mind release into awareness.
當大家個心咧慢慢平靜落嚟嘅時候咧，自然咧可以投注更多能量咧喺呢個專注嘅狀態。
Imagine if you aren't spending so much money. It means all of your income just goes into the bank and your bank balance goes up. You get more money because you're not spending anything.
想像個情況，當大家係唔再去花費嘅時候咧，大家嘅錢咧就會不斷喺大家嘅銀行戶口度儲蓄喺度啦。咁大家銀行戶口嘅數字會不斷咁上升。
When you're not spending mental energy trying to control, trying to hold, then all of that mental energy goes into mindfulness.
同樣咁道理啦，當大家咧唔去費勁咧，將大家嘅精神嘅力量咧係去控制住大家自己嘅時候咧，所有你嘅精神力量咧就會投注咗喺正念嗰度。
You become more and more aware.
你會個心咧就會嘅專注力會越嚟越強嘅。
So you begin to see not just in breath, out breath. You begin to see the very beginning of every in breath, seeing it grow from the beginning to its peak and then fall away again.
你唔只會留意到自己嘅吸入同埋呼出呢兩個情況啦，而且咧佢成個吸入嘅狀態嘅時候咧，你會從好微弱咁吸口氣啦，直至佢咧去到頂峰再次消失，成個過程都會清楚咁睇到。
In just one in-breath, there are hundreds of separate events and experiences.
同一個吸入嘅過程裏邊咧，有上百個更加微細嘅過程其實發生緊。
In one out-breath, there are just so many different things going on.
同樣道理喺同一個呼出裏邊咧，有好多事情係發生嘅。
And this is just what happens naturally when you are mindful and kind. You start to see more and more and more of every in-breath and out-breath.
當大家能夠保持正念同埋友善嘅時候咧，大家咧會能夠更加清楚地睇到吸入同呼出嘅過程。
Your mindfulness is becoming stronger and more alert.
大家嘅正念咧係會變得更加強啦，同埋會更加覺察。
The Buddha called that the full awareness of breathing.
呢個咧係對佛陀咧就話呢個係對呼吸嘅完全嘅察覺。
And that's another layer of petals has opened up. You see this layer of full awareness of breath.
咁樣嘅情況之下咧，下一層嘅花瓣咧亦都綻放咗啦。
And as I mentioned in the talk I gave last night at Chinese University, when the energy starts to increase in your mindfulness, you start to see everything as delightful and beautiful.
正如我琴晚喺中文大學嘅開示所講一樣啦，當大家咧心理能量亦不斷咁提升嘅時候咧，我哋睇到所有嘅事物係會變得更加美麗。
I know that some of you were there at my talk at CU, and I've told a story which some of you have heard before, seeing even a piece of excrement in the toilet, and because your mindfulness was so strong, that was so beautiful.
我知道在座當中咧，大家咧係有啲人係去過中文大學聽呢個講座嘅，但係咧其實咧當大家嘅正念係非常強嘅時候咧，連大家嘅糞便咧睇落去咧都會變得非常之美麗。
This is the nature of the mind when it starts to get very powerful.
當我哋嘅心咧係變得非常之強嘅時候咧，其實就會去到呢個狀態。
So the next stage becomes the delightful breath.
所以下一個狀態咧，我哋嘅呼吸會變得非常之美妙。
As you're watching, just this part of the breath, the part of the in-breath is so incredibly delightful and wonderful.
我哋會睇到咧，我哋嘅呼吸嘅一小部分咧，都係非常之美麗嘅。
This is just happens naturally. You don't look for this. It just becomes so much joy.
呢個狀態係會自然咁發生啦，大家唔需要刻意咁發生佢。呢個狀態係幾咁之美妙。
In the sutras, this is where you're breathing in, experiencing piti and sukha.
呢個咧就喺經裏面講嘅啦，大家會經驗到喜同埋樂嘅呢兩樣狀態。
I always emphasize this as an important part of your meditation.
我經常強調咧，呢兩個狀態咧係禪修裏邊咧非常重要嘅經歷。
You're starting to experience happiness and bliss.
你開始咧就真正體驗到咩叫做喜同樂。
The meditation is so much enjoyable.
禪修會變得非常之享受嘅。
And the type of bliss which you have is so strong that when you know it's time for lunch, you'd rather carry on meditating than having your lunch.
喺呢個狀態咧，喜樂嘅程度係會變得非常之強啦，你甚至咧係唔會想去食飯嘅。當雖然係食飯時間。
On the retreats which I teach, many times people miss their breakfast, or they miss their lunch, or they miss their dinner. 喺我以前嘅禪修營裏面咧，有好多人咧係會唔記得咗去食早餐、午餐或者晚餐。They were having too much fun. 因為佢哋咧實在有太多嘅樂趣啦。Now that gives you an idea of what's happening at this stage of meditation. 咁樣咧，其實就話到俾大家聽咧，喺呢個禪修階段裏面咧係發生咗咩事。It's this particular stage of meditation which really does allow you to sit for hours and hours. 就喺呢個狀態裏面咧，係會令到你咧持續地咧係連續好多個鐘頭咁樣禪修落去。It's no effort at all. You're just having the time of your life. 你唔需要花任何嘅精力啦，你就會去不斷咁禪修。And it's because people experience those stages of the meditation. I really do not like bells and gongs, which take a person away from experience what they should be experiencing. 正正咧係因為有呢啲狀態發生緊嘅時候咧，所以咧我就建議咧就唔用任何嘅鬧鐘啦，或者用任何會發聲嘅裝置咧去打擾咗呢啲禪修狀態。If you're enjoying it, carry on, please have good fun. It's really important. 如果你咧係享受呢啲狀態嘅時候咧，請你哋繼續享受呢啲狀態落去啦。And because the breath is so delightful, you stay there for so long, and everything calms down. 因為大家嘅呼吸係變得非常之美妙啦，大家會繼續咁樣享受落去咧，每樣嘢咧都會平靜落。You don't do anything because there's nothing to do. 你唔去再做任何嘢啦，因為咧根本咧就冇需要做其他嘢。And that is where the layer of petals called the delightful breath, they open up to the next layer of petals deep inside.
呢個咧就係呢層咧叫做美妙嘅呼吸嘅呢層花瓣咧，就開始慢慢綻放咧，去展露咗更加深層次嘅花瓣喺裏面。
And just as in a lotus, the deeper you go inside the lotus, the more beautiful and fragrant and delicate are those petals.
就正如喺一個蓮花裏邊啦，當嘅花瓣咧慢慢深入嘅時候咧，佢會變得更加香、更加美麗。
Inside the delightful breath, it happens naturally. That's where you see the beautiful lights in the mind called nimitta.
喺下一層更加深嘅花瓣裏邊咧，就會見到另外一樣嘢叫禪相。
There's many ways you can reach the stage of nimitta. If you do this way, you can go even deeper.
其實咧要達到禪相呢個境界有好多方法嘅，但係你做到呢樣嘢嘅時候咧，其實你會睇到更加多。
If you exert effort, some of you may be able to achieve the nimitta, but you can't let it go and go deeper.
如果咧你係花費你嘅精力咧去達到呢個境界嘅時候咧，你有可能達到，但係咧你唔能夠咧持續呢個境界影上落去。
If you have created a nimitta through force, you can't go further.
如果咧你係要用你係夾硬咧製造呢個禪相出嚟嘅時候咧，其實咧佢唔係一件好事。
If a nimitta has come through letting go, through just being mindful and kind, you can go deeper into jhanas.
當呢個禪相咧係因為大家學習放下咧而產生嘅時候咧，我哋會能夠咧進入更加深嘅禪那狀態。
So a beautiful light appears in your mind's eye.
有啲好靚嘅光咧就會喺大家嘅腦裏面出現。
If it is done properly, by this time you can not feel the body, and you can't now feel the breath either.
如果係正確地做嘅時候咧，大家喺呢個狀態咧係感受唔到大家嘅身體咧，甚至係呼吸。
And there should be no thoughts. The layer of thoughts has been left a long time ago.
喺呢個狀態咧，亦都唔會再有任何嘅思維啦，因為咧喺思維咧係一啲比較外層嘅花瓣咧，我哋喺較早時間已經摒棄咗佢。
If you follow the path and follow the instructions, all you see is this beautiful light. Your mind is so still and peaceful and joyful.
如果我哋咧係跟隨住呢條收集嘅道路去做嘅時候咧，大家心咧係會變得非常之平靜同美麗。
I know many of my students in Perth. They make the mistake of rushing to the nimitta before they've really got a lot of joy.
我咧喺柏斯嘅時候咧，有好多學生咧，其實咧就用呢個方法收集咧，但係咧佢哋咧就非常之趕急咁樣咧，佢哋冇去享受咧喺禪行嘅狀態，呢啲禪相嘅狀態。
Which means when this nimitta comes up, it's either so weak they just goes back into blackness or darkness. They don't know where they are.
咁當呢啲禪相升起嘅時候咧，其實咧佢哋啲禪相好弱嘅時候咧，佢哋咧就已經放棄咗佢啦，咁咧就取而代之係一啲非常之黑嘅狀態。
It is so important for meditation to bring joy into the temple, joy into the meditation, joy into the thoughts.
禪修咧其實係非常重要嘅一個部分咧，就係喜悅啦。咁所以咧，我哋要將喜悅咧帶為自於嗰度啦，帶嚟我哋嘅禪修當中。
So I don't make my talks funny just to be popular.
我唔係因為咧要得到任何嘅明星或者任何嘅知名度咧，令到自己嘅開示咧係變得非常有趣嘅。
I don't make jokes just to get lots of pow.
我咧就唔係為咗咧
the red packets have got different words. They call it more.
我咧就唔係為咗得到任何嘅供養或者利是咧而去講任何笑話。
I do this. That's a joke I learned last time. When you have lots of monks and you want to take a photograph of them and you want them to smile, don't say cheese. Say lai si.
我講呢樣嘢咧，其實咧就唔係為咗乜嘢嘅，只不過咧係當大家希望影相嘅時候咧，就唔好再講 cheers 呢個字啦，就講利是。
No, we don't do it for that. It's a deeper purpose for bringing joy and fun into Buddhism.
我哋唔係有個更深層次嘅意義咧，就係話咧希望咧喺禪修當中咧係引入咗咧喜悅嘅元素。
It's so that when this nimitta comes up, you can enjoy the bliss of this one stage of meditation.
咁 目標咧係咧，當禪相升起嘅時候咧，大家能夠咧享受到咧禪相帶俾你嘅一種快樂係點樣。
So when this layer of petals comes up the nimitta, a lot of people make the mistake, they've been following the instructions so well, and when the nimitta comes up, you get excited and try and control it.
喺好多人身上發生呢樣嘢嘅，當佢哋禪相升起嘅時候咧，佢哋跟隨咗所有嘅指示嚟做啦，佢哋變得非常之興奮啦，但係咧佢哋咧喺佢哋禪修裏邊咧開始失控。
Please remember the instructions. Just be mindful and be kind.
請記住以上之前講過嘅指示啦，只需要咧你哋保持正面同埋友善。
Then, if you do it properly, the nimitta just stays.
當你做到咁樣嘅時候咧，個禪相就會自然地保持住啦。
And because it is still the energy, your bank balance goes up, up, up. It gets brighter, brighter, more blissful.
當你咁樣做嘅時候咧，大家嘅精神能量就會不斷提升啦。咁樣咧，你嘅景象會變得越嚟越光明。
The brightness and the bliss are just two ways of perceiving the same thing.
光明啦，或者係一種快樂嘅感覺啦，只不過咧係一個係睇事物嘅兩種唔同嘅角度嚟，但係同一樣嘢嚟。
So some meditators, and I went through this, thought this nimitta is getting so incredibly incandescent, I will go blind if I don't stop.
有啲禪修者或者我自己嘅經驗裏邊咧，呢啲禪相咧係會變得非常非常之光明嘅，咁咧就直情咧就會覺得咧我哋好似會盲咁樣。
It's very stupid. I've been very stupid. You're not seeing this with your physical eye. This is with the mind's eye.
我覺得其實之前係非常之蠢嘅，因為咧其實我唔係用我嘅真係我哋嘅肉眼嚟睇啦，但係用我哋嘅心裏邊嗰對眼咧，其實觀察呢啲禪相。
So sometimes that nimitta is like 100 or 1,000 times as bright as the sun. But it's fine.
有時候咧禪相咧，甚至係比太陽光咧係1000倍或者10000倍更加光明。
And sometimes its sheer bliss is so strong. There's many times, not many times, 1 or 2 times, before I understood how stupid I was. I thought no human being can take so much pleasure.
有時候咧呢個禪相咧係幾咁光明同埋幾咁快樂咧，有時候我就會諗呢樣嘢啦，係究竟係咪有人可以承受到咁大嘅快樂嘅咧？
But I discovered in meditation there's no limit to the amount of bliss and pleasure you can experience. You don't explode.
但係最後我發覺咧喺禪修裏邊咧，其實咧快樂嘅感覺咧可以去到無限量咁多。
Are you interested in experiencing so much inner pleasure?
大家有冇興趣去享受咁大程度嘅快樂
Of course you are. This is fun, big fun.
當然大家會有興趣啦，因為呢個係非常之有趣嘅經歷。
So you're just being mindful, being kind. And then it gets so powerful, so blissful, it either envelops you or you'll fall into it. Then you go to the next stage called the jhanas.
咁咧大家咧就會當然係會非常之享受咁呢啲禪相嘅境界啦。咁開始啲禪相咧，當你享受嘅時候，佢會變得越嚟越光明啦。去到呢個程度放嘅時候咧，大家會進入一個更加深層次嘅禪定境界咧，就叫做禪。
If you read the teachings of the Buddha, not the teachings of other monks, but just the teachings of the Buddha, you will see again and again and again the Buddha say that jhanas are the path to enlightenment. 當大家咧去真正地咧睇翻咧最原本咧佛陀所講嘅經典係乜嘢咧，而唔係睇其他法師所講關於禪修嘅教導咧，你會發覺咧禪那呢個狀態咧係一個不可或缺嘅達至解脫嘅一個因素嚟嘅。 And you will read that you cannot get enlightened without the jhanas.
換句話說咧，你如果係冇禪那狀態嘅時候咧，亦都咧你係達到唔到解脫呢個狀態。
Some people say that jhanas are so pleasant you will get attached to those jhanas.
有啲人就話啦，禪那呢個狀態咧，其實咧係非常之快樂嘅，可能會有人咧沉溺喺呢啲禪那狀態裏邊。
And they say if you get attached to jhana, you can't get enlightened.
佢哋甚至會講咧，如果你咧係沉迷咗喺啲禪那狀態嘅快樂裏邊咧，你係唔會達到解脫。
That's what some monks say. This is what the Buddha said.
有呢啲個咧就係有啲法師咁樣講啦。呢個以上所講嘅嘢咧係佛陀自己講嘅。
This is from the Pasadika Sutra of the Digha Nikaya.
呢個咧係長部裏面 Pasada Sutta 裏邊所講嘅嘢。
The Buddha said, anyone who gets attached to the bliss of jhana can expect only one of four things.
喺呢部長部嘅經典裏邊咧，佛陀開示嗰樣嘢，如果咧一個人咧係沉溺咗喺呢啲禪那狀態裏邊咧，佢四樣嘢裏邊咧，佢會只可以攞到一樣嘢。
There are only four possibilities for one who indulges in the bliss of jhana.
當一個人咧係沉溺喺呢啲禪那嘅快樂裏邊咧，佢咧只可以攞到四樣嘢裏邊嘅其中一樣嘢。
Number one, stream winning, the first stage of enlightenment.
第一樣嘢咧就係叫做須陀洹果或者叫如能果，係第一禪修係開悟嘅第一個階段。
Number two, once returning, the second stage of enlightenment.
第二樣嘢咧係一來果，咁咧就係第二個嘅開悟階段嚟嘅。
Number three, not returning, the third stage of enlightenment.
第三樣嘅咧就係叫做不還果，亦都係開悟嘅第三個階段。
Or number four, full enlightenment.
第四樣嘢咧就係叫做完全嘅解脫。
Those are the only possibilities.
呢四個咧就係唯一嘅四個可能性。
That is what we're supposed to be doing.
呢個咧亦都係我哋咧應該要做嘅嘢。
So I say this just to make you very clear. This is the path of Buddhism, the path to enlightenment.
所以咧，我清晰地講，想講得咁清楚咧，就係因為咧呢個咧係達到開悟嘅一個解脫嘅方法嚟。
And also, I have shown by the path to these wonderful states, these are not something you aim for. It's just something which happens when you let go.
我想講嘅嘢咧就係咧，呢啲禪那狀態咧，唔係咧我哋咧係建立咗個目標啦，就而能夠達到嗰啲狀態嚟嘅，而反而咧係當我哋學習放下嘅時候咧，呢啲狀態會自然地生起。
Just like the leaf, its natural state is to be still. This is the ordinary leaf. This is the watching the breath. This is the delightful breath. This is the nimitta. When it gets very still, that's the jhanas.
正如一棵樹咁樣咧，其實佢自然嘅本質咧係靜止嘅。當咧我哋嘅心未受訓練嘅時候，佢不斷咁搖擺啦。咁開始學習觀呼吸嘅時候，佢嘅搖動會更加少啦。去到禪相嘅時候，佢擺動會更加少。去到禪那狀態就開始慢慢靜落嚟。
The jhanas are no more than stages in the process of letting go.
禪那咧係學習放下裏邊咧其中一個經歷嚟嘅。
Just like watching the breath is just a stage of letting go.
就正如咧觀察你呼吸嘅時候咧，亦都係咧學習放下嘅其中一個階段。
So they are recommended by the Buddha himself.
所以咧佛陀自己咧亦都係咁樣建議嘅。
They are recommended by me.
而且咧我都係咁樣建議。
They're great fun and they will change your life.
呢啲咁美妙嘅狀態咧係會改變大家嘅生命。
Later on, I will tell you how they give rise to powerful and deep insight.
稍後嘅時間咧，我就會講咧呢啲咁美妙嘅狀態咧係點樣咧係會顯露到啲更加深層次嘅真相係點樣。
But those who heard my talk last night at CU already know that this is the simile of the tadpole and the frog.
如果琴晚咧有去攞中文大學嘅開示嘅時候咧，就會知道咧呢個係一個蝌蚪同埋青蛙嘅一個比喻。
I will tell the simile in full later on.
我稍後時間咧就會完整咁樣咧將成個比喻咧講出嚟。
In brief, a tadpole cannot understand the nature of water.
簡單地、扼要地咧，一個蝌蚪咧係唔會真正地理解咧水嘅本質係乜嘢。
No more than a human being who hasn't achieved jhana can understand the nature of the body and the senses.
同樣道理啦，當一個人咧係未去到禪那狀態嘅時候咧，佢唔能夠清晰地、如實地認清自己嘅身體實相係乜嘢。
But the frog outside of the water can understand the nature of water.
但係咧，一個喺水以外嘅跳出水以外嘅青蛙咧，能夠清晰地睇到水嘅真相係乜？
In a jhana, you are like the frog standing outside, beyond transcending the body, the senses, and later on the will.
正如一個青蛙跳開咗水面一樣啦，咁大家到進入咗禪那狀態嘅時候咧，就好似嗰隻青蛙咁樣咧，係已經脫離咗從大家嘅身體啦，甚至係從大家嘅五官啦，或者係大家嘅意志咧嘅力咧，係已經超越咗呢以上述嘅狀態㗎啦。
Just like the frog develops insight, which a tadpole can never do, so the one in jhana can develop insight like the others will never be able to do.
正如咧，當一隻青蛙離開咗水面咧，佢會咧體驗到咧一個蝌蚪完全係理解唔到嘅一啲深層次嘅實相嘅時候咧，一個人喺一個禪那狀態咧，佢亦都會達到呢啲咁深層次嘅觀察到呢咁深層次嘅實相嘅。
So that is the path of meditation.
呢個咧就係禪修嘅道路啦。
Remember, all you need to do is be mindful, be kind.
請大家記住啦，大家只需要做嘅兩樣嘢係乜嘢咧？第一樣嘢咧就係要保持正念，第二樣嘢咧就係保持友善。
Can you remember that?
大家能唔能夠記住呢啲嘢咧
Will you do that?
大家可唔可以做到咧
No, you won't.
唔好意思，大家做唔到。
Great if you would.
你或者我。
Okay, so now we have the questions, comments, and complaints.
好，而家就係問答嘅環節開始。
Okay. Are there any questions on pieces of paper? There's a piece of paper down there. Is anything in the box? What's in the box? Snake? Yes. My lucky day. There is a question. Good.
有兩條問。
What is the difference between meditation, simply sitting in silence, and detention?
禪修以下三樣嘢有咩分別咧？禪修啦，一個人坐喺度啦，或者俾人罰留堂。
And why does it seem that detention sometimes felt like meditation when asked to stand in the corner and face the wall in silence?
點解有人罰留堂，俾人罰留堂嘅時候咧，企埋邊牆嘅時候咧，會好似禪修一樣咁樣經歷嘅咧？
That is because detention is no fun.
因為咧係俾人罰留堂咧，其實唔係一個好嘅經歷。
And detention is something you're forced to do. 咁咧係你俾人被逼而做。But meditation is something you just love doing.
但係禪修咧，你係會非常之享受。
Does any child love being in detention?
究竟有冇小朋友係中意俾人罰留堂
Is there any joy in it?
會唔會喺裏面得到任何快樂咧？
Do you experience incredible bliss and insight?
你可唔可以享受到非常之強烈嘅快樂，同埋而且係可以觀察到實相咧
Does anyone get enlightened during detention?
有冇人咧可以喺罰留堂嘅俾人罰留堂嘅時候達到解脫咧？
So the only reason why detention feels like meditation for you is you haven't enjoyed the meditation yet.
唯一嘅解釋方法咧就係話咧當你係覺得罰留堂俾人罰留堂同禪修一樣嘅時候咧，其實你未真正享受到禪修係乜嘢
Whoever wrote that question, they understand meditation is just another form of control.
寫嗰個人咧，當你係咁樣寫嘅時候咧，其實咧你有一個見解就係話咧禪修咧其實係一種咧有一種控制嘅力量喺度。
Instead, meditation is a way of letting go of control.
啱相反啦，禪修咧係要學習放下，同埋學習咧再去控制任何嘢。
You control and you get tense. You let go, you become free.
當你係去控制嘅時候咧，你成個身體會變得繃緊。當你學習放下嘅時候咧，你會得到真正嘅自由。
Next question: Why does a monk not eat dinner in some Buddhist traditions?
問題就話點解啲僧人咧係唔食晚餐
Does skipping dinner help the meditation practice?
當你唔食晚餐嘅時候，係咪對禪修有幫助？
That's a very deep question.
呢個係一個非常深嘅問題。
Just like somebody was cheeky to me in a talk, I think it was in Australia recently.
正如咧，我喺一個最近喺澳洲一個開示當中，有人問過一條問題。
They asked me what the monks wear under their robes.
正如咧，佢哋問咧，究竟呢一個法師咧，佢哋嘅僧袍以內咧係着咗咩嘅咧
And when they're cheeky to me, I'm cheeky back.
當佢哋咧係咁樣做嘅時候咧，我就會用相同嘅方法對翻佢。
I told them the Buddha taught, don't believe but come and see.
咁我就會同佢哋講啦，佛陀都係咁樣講嘅，請大家唔好盲目相信啦，你自己去親身去睇下係咩。
So by coming and seeing, I don't mean looking under my robes. I said, become a monk yourself, and then you'll find out.
咁咧，我咁樣講嘅時候咧，其實咧就唔係叫佢哋咧去裝下我咧個僧袍以下咧係乜嘢。咁咧，其實我想講咧就係話咧，你自己去出家咧就會知道究竟即係僧袍下邊嘅究竟真係乜見到乜嘢。
So if you want to know the answer to that question, why don't monks eat dinner in the evening? Come and see. Ordain as a monk yourself.
所以咧，當你想知道咧究竟咧僧人點解唔食晚餐嘅時候咧，我就會咁樣答你啦。你自己嚟睇下啦。
In brief, it is just for the sake of simplicity.
要嚟講咧，咁樣做咧係令到我哋嘅生活變得更加簡單。
Just eat one big meal, which means in the afternoon and evening you have nothing to do with food. You have all that time free to meditate.
當你唔食晚餐嘅時候咧，你下午同埋晚上嘅時間咧，會變得時間更加鬆裕啦，係有更多時間可以禪修。
How much time do you spend eating?
我哋每日花幾多時間進食
And not just eating. Some of you women have to go shopping for the food, cook the food, and it's eaten in a short time. You have to wash up all those pans and dishes afterwards. It takes forever.
究竟大家為咗進食浪費幾多時間咧？從買嘢食啦，將啲餸煮熟啦，之後食飯啦，之後就唔知洗碗碟呢個時間咧，其實咧，大家每一日咧係花咗好多時間喺食呢度。
Some of you go to work, and when you get home, you can't relax. You've got to start cooking the dinner for your husband and washing up afterwards.
有啲人喺工作完結之後咧，仍然咧就要繼續咧去準備大家嘅晚餐啦，幫大家嘅丈夫咧去準備晚餐。
So after this retreat, you go home and say to your husband, I'm only cooking for you in the morning. One meal a day. Nothing in the afternoon.
所以咧，今次禪修完之後咧，你可以翻去同大家嘅丈夫講啦，我就係會幫你準備早餐嘅，每日食一餐。
Why not just give him a big meal, and that's enough for the day?
點解唔夠咧？只係俾佢哋提供一餐嘅大餐咧，咁就夠啦。
How many times you have to fill up your car with gas?
究竟咧有幾多次咧？我哋係要幫自己嘅車入油
Just get a bigger tank. You can put more energy in there. It lasts for a long time.
只要咧我哋入滿一缸油嘅時候咧，咁咧佢架車咧就會充滿能量咧，佢就會去到好遠。
That's why I got big tummy, because I put a lot in, it lasts a long time.
呢個咧就係點解咧我個肚腩係咁大，因為咧我一餐食好多嘢。
Okay, now some serious questions. Anyone got a serious question?
請問有冇大家有啲比較嚴肅嘅問題
Dear Ajahn, I have two questions, and one in this afternoon, I follow your instruction and find that my body does not belong to me because when I sit on the mat, I fell asleep. So I follow your instruction, and I follow the instruction to go back to the dorm to sleep. But when I lie down on the bed, my body keep awake, and I can't sleep. It seems my body, how to say, I don't know how to handle my body.
Very good, that's always the case. Many of you today, tomorrow, will fall asleep in this room. And when you go to bed, you can't fall asleep. There's something going on there, isn't there?
呢個係一個好正常嘅狀態嘅，咁咧有啲人咧就會坐喺個禪修營裏禪堂裏邊咧係會瞓着覺，但係翻到房上面咧反而係瞓唔到覺嘅。
The reason is because when you're down here, you're trying to stay awake.
原因係乜嘢咧？當大家喺禪堂裏面嘅時候咧，大家係要刻意地咧去保持覺性。
That makes you fall asleep.
呢樣嘢咧係會令到大家瞓着覺。
When you go to bed, you try to fall asleep, and that's what makes you keep awake.
但係反而咧，大家喺房上面咧，你刻意令到自己瞓着覺咧，但正係呢個因素咧，令到大家瞓唔到覺。
If you can stop all this trying, then in here you'll be awake, and in bed you'll be asleep.
當大家唔去刻意咁樣咧，去使勁地令到大家自己係去覺醒嘅時候咧，其實咧自然就可以禪修到㗎。
So stop trying.
所以咧，唔好刻意地去做呢樣嘢。
Let things be.
令事情咧自然地發生。
Don't be a control freak.
請唔好做一個咧好中意控制嘅控制狂。
Just be kind to your body. Be aware of your body.
對自己嘅身體咧非常之友善，同埋咧要覺察到自己身體嘅狀況。
So sitting here or laying on your bed, you can ask your body, what do you want to do?
所以無論係坐喺呢度或者喺張床上面瞓都好啦，你都可以非常之友善咧同自己嘅身體講啦，我哋身體係究竟你想點樣
？That's being kind.
只不過要保持友善。
And the body will tell you, I want to stay awake.
咁咧個身體咧就會自然同你講，我想保持覺醒嘅狀態。
That's being mindful of what your body wants.
只要你保持住對住身體嘅一種正念。
So if your body wants to be awake, it's fine by me.
所以咧，當個身體咧係希望覺醒嘅時候咧，佢自然會做到。
Or your body might say, I want to go sleep.
或者你個身體就會話，我想瞓覺。
Okay, that's fine by me.
冇問題啊，咁就瞓。
So be a friend to your body, rather than look upon your body like a slave.
所以咧就好似一個朋友咁對待自己嘅身體啦，就唔好當自己嘅身體咧好似個奴隸咁樣去命令佢。
Some people in Hong Kong have got maids.
香港係有好多人咧係擁有女傭嘅。
And they always tell their servant what to do.
佢成日會命令呢啲女傭咧去做一啲嘢。
Your body is not your maid, it's not your servant.
大家嘅身體咧唔係各位嘅女傭咧去服侍大家。
But if you treat it like a servant, it will get very sick and die young.
當大家咧係好似一個女傭咁樣去命令自己身體做嘢嘅時候咧，其實佢會病。
Treat it like a friend, care for it.
當大家身體一個朋友咁樣看待。
And then, when you want it to go to sleep, say, "Look, body, please go to sleep. Now I looked after you, now you look after me."
當大家身體攰嘅時候咧，咁就好似個朋友同佢講啦，咁你又去瞓覺。
Everybody says, "Okay, I'll go to sleep now."
咁咧，佢身體就會話啦，哦，好啊，我就瞓啦。
Treat your body like a friend, not a slave.
請對用一個朋友嘅角度嚟看待自己嘅身體。
Stop trying to control.
請唔好刻意去操縱。
Okay, question number 2.
Dear Ajahn, after the tea break, and I do an experiment, just follow your advice to get the teddy bear and to meditate. Suddenly, just sit for a few minutes, my subtle headache gone, my back pain gone, and my chest feel comfortable. I don't know why. And but I think it's quite a little bit weird if I practice at home like that. Can you suggest another way? Thank you.
當佢有第二個問題就係咧當佢查點之後咧，佢就去法師面前攞咗條紅啤啤攬住嚟禪修咯。佢發覺佢嘅身體上面嘅疼痛咧就開始慢慢減少啦。咁剛才問題就係咧，翻到屋企咁樣做咧，其實好古怪嘅。咁法師有冇第二個方法去建議
？It's called teddy bear power.
呢個咧就係一種紅啤啤嘅力量嚟嘅。
Okay, because what happens, one of the problems of people meditating is they don't have enough kindness.
有好多人咧，當佢哋禪修嘅時候，有一個問題就係咧，佢哋嘅友善嘅係唔夠嘅。
In many temples throughout the world, the monks don't practice enough kindness.
喺世界上面好多寺院嗰度咧，僧侶先咧，佢哋嘅禪修咧嘅禪修嘅時候咧，佢哋友善呢個元素係不足。
They're too fierce.
佢哋咧實在咧係太過之野蠻啦。
So I like to be teddy bear. I'm Ajahn teddy bear.
我係好中意咧做一個紅啤啤嘅，我咧其實咧就係一個紅啤啤嘅阿姜紅啤啤。
Doesn't that make you happy and peaceful?
咁樣係咪會令到大家更加開心同更加平和咧？
So please, you can do that at home. No one will think you're crazy.
請大家喺屋企都咁樣做啦，冇人會覺得你係一個傻佬嘅。
And you can certainly do it in temple.
同樣地啦，當你去到寺院嘅時候咧，都可以咁樣做。
Especially Venerable Dharmapada's temple.
特別咧係法護法師嘅寺院裏邊。
Wang Fat Ching She is teddy bear friendly temple.
法精舍咧係對紅啤啤非常友善嘅一間寺院。
It does work because when you actually take a teddy bear, it brings you this feeling of kindness and softness, and that's an important part of therapy.
咁樣做係好有效嘅。當你係抱住一條紅啤啤嘅時候咧，其實咧你成個人咧係變得非常之友善同平和咯。呢個咧係一個治療嘅其中一個階段。
It really does work.
呢個方法係可行。
So try it. It's just beautiful little teddy bears, just the right size.
請大家翻去試下啦。大家攬住紅啤啤個紅啤啤嘅大細係啱啱好。
And it just creates the right attitude of mind to get into beautiful meditation.
更重要嘅係咧，佢咧係能夠咧，你培育到咧嘅一個正確嘅心態去禪修。
So please try the teddy bear at least once.
所以咧，請大家咧最少一次咧去嘗試用紅啤啤嚟禪修。
Okay. Another question? Yeah. So you got to run on the back over there.
Kindness.
Yes.
Ajahn Brahm.
I can tell you that.
We haven't been treated, like you said, with much kindness. So my question is mainly on kindness. Like you said, we smile to ourselves and holding a teddy bear. But according to what I just heard you mention, there seems to be a lot of dialogue, asking what do you want, asking the self inside. So a lot of work, isn't it?
No, what? No, okay, come on, translate first.
我嘅問題咧係你剛才開始咧裏邊提過係友善呢樣嘢嘅，咁咧其實我喺禪修裏邊可能友善咧係未必咁夠啦。咁當從開始亦都提過咧，我哋嘅心咧不斷要追問自己咧係要下一步做乜嘢嘅，咁究竟點樣去處理呢樣嘢
No. You only do that just a second or two, just to establish mindfulness of your body, to understand what your body wants.
保持友善咧，其實嘅目標咧係要幫大家建立正念。
Once you establish a relationship with your body, you don't need to ask the body anymore. The body will keep telling you what it wants or what it needs.
當同我哋嘅身體建立咗關係之後咧，佢會自然地咧就會知道下一步要做乜嘢。
This is just to establish kindness, and once kindness is established, you don't need dialogue anymore.
唯一嘅目標咧係要幫大家建立友善嘅啫。當建立咗友善嘅時候，你就唔需要再做其他嘢。
Oh yeah, come back.
So what about if the thoughts keep coming up about the past and also about the future? How do we define?
當我哋嘅思維不斷係去諗我哋嘅過去同未來嘅時候，我哋應該要做乜嘢咧？
How you can be kind is to let them come up.
咁究竟要做乜嘢咧？就要學習咧去令到個心變得更加靜落嚟。
If you let them come up and just look upon them as little children just playing around in your mind, after a while they will all settle down.
咁如果你可以令到佢慢慢升起嘅時候咧，就好似個小朋友咁望住佢嘅時候咧，過咗一段時間佢就會自然地消失。
If you try and control them, more and more thoughts will come up.
反而如果你係去刻意去控制佢嘅時候咧，會有更加多嘅念頭會升起。
If you try and stop them, more thoughts will come.
如果你係刻意咧去撳低佢，令到佢唔升起嘅時候咧，反而係會有更加多嘅想法會升起。
So let them come, let them be, let them go.
所以咧，由得佢哋自己嚟自己生起同埋自己離開。
But the important thing is don't give them importance.
但係咧，重要嘅地方咧就係咧，就唔好刻意地咧將一個重要標籤咧就連喺呢啲念頭上。
Because if you give them value, they will stay in your mind forever.
原因係咩咧？當你哋覺得呢啲念頭係重要嘅時候咧，佢就會咧停留喺咧係永遠咁停留喺大家心上。
It's just a silly thought, that's all.
呢個只不過咧，實上咧，只不過咧係一個念頭嘅咧，就係咁簡單。
Not important.
一個唔重要嘅念頭。
And then it will fade away by itself.
之後咧，佢會自然咧自己消失。
When you understand how much more valuable silence is, you experience it so beautiful, so wonderful, then you won't want to think so much anymore.
當你能夠真正知道咧寧靜嘅妙處喺邊度嘅時候咧，你嘅念頭就會自然而生起。
What about if there are times that the problems won't go, it just stay and linger?
If they won't go, let them stay.
當佢哋係唔肯離開嘅時候咧，又有得佢哋喺度咯。
One experience I had, I'd been a monk for 5 years.
其中一個經歷係咁樣嘅，我係當時咧，我係已經係出咗家。
I found a perfect monastery in the north of Thailand. I was there all by myself.
我喺泰國北部揾到個非常完美嘅寺院，我當時係一個人嘅啫。
Nothing to do all day except meditate.
冇其他嘢做，除咗禪修之外。
And remember, I was English monk. This was in the middle of a tea plantation. Heaven for an English monk.
要記住一樣嘢，我係一個英籍嘅僧人嚟嘅。當咧我係喺一個茶嘅出產地嘅時候咧，其實咧我就好似一個天堂咁樣。
I had as much tea as I could drink.
我可以飲幾多，中意飲幾多茶都得。
But one day, my mind started to think too much.
但係有一日咧，我開始咧諗嘢咧諗得太多啦。
And the thoughts, they just would not go.
而呢啲思維咧，佢唔會自己離開。
The worst thing was they were thoughts that a monk should not think.
最差嘅係乜嘢咧？呢啲念頭咧係一個僧人咧唔應該去諗嘅。
There were memories of my old girlfriends.
呢個咧係我對以前嘅女朋友嘅一啲回憶。
There were fantasies about romance.
呢啲咧係對一啲浪漫嘅狀態嘅一啲幻想。
I was still a young man. There was still time to find the girl of my dreams.
我仍然係一個非常之年輕嘅人咧，我仍然咧係有能力咧去揾到一個我夢想之中嘅女朋友。
There was thoughts of sex and romance and all sorts of unmonkish thoughts.
有當時嘅念頭咧，有性啦，或者咧係一啲女朋友啦，或者甚至係一啲其他係唔應該一個僧人諗嘅嘢。
I was a good monk. I did not want to think those things.
我係一個非常好嘅僧人嚟嘅，我唔應該去諗呢啲咁樣嘅念頭。
But I couldn't stop the thoughts.
但係我唔能夠控制住呢啲念頭嘅生起。
They got worse and worse and worse.
情況咧只係不斷咁惡化落去。
And I was living alone. I had no other monk to ask for advice.
當時咧，我只不過一個人咁生活嘅啫，我冇其他僧人咧去指示我應該點樣做。
But one day it got so bad, I thought I'd go crazy.
有一日咧情況差到咧，我甚至以為自己咧係會變咗一個瘋子。
So what I did, there was a big Buddha statue in the main temple. I bowed to that Buddha statue and said, "Help."
我做嘅嘢係乜嘢咧？當時咧有一個佛像咧，就喺一個寺廟嘅中間嘅。咁咧我做嘅咧就係咧，我向個佛像致敬咧，我就同個佛像講咧：請你幫忙。
And I had an idea, a possible solution.
突然之間咧有一個好好嘅正面嘅解決方法咧生起咗。
I was Westerner, so I said, "Let's do a deal."
我係一個西方社會成長嘅人嚟嘅，所以咧我就同佢講啦：我哋嚟一場交易。
And the deal was, my mind would behave for most of the day, just be peaceful, watch its breath. But from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. every day, that would be the time I could think sexy thought.
我就同佢以價還價啦，咁我就同佢講啦，我咧就不斷咁觀察自己嘅呼吸啦，一路從3點去到4點，咁之後咧，咁咧就可能咧會有其他嘅諗法相起。
The rest of the day I behaved from 3 to 4 p.m. Any thought was allowed.
喺除咗3點至4點呢段時間之外咧，所有嘅其他時間咧，我哋會好好咁樣表現自己。
And this is what happened.
會發生咗咩事咧？之後
It made no difference at all the rest of the day.
咁其實係冇任何差別嘅，喺3點4點以外呢段時間之後咧，係冇任何嘅差別。
Still, all these bad thoughts would come into my mind. I try and push them out. They come back in again.
喺呢段時間以外咧，不斷地咧有啲非常之不道德嘅念頭喺我腦裏面生起啦。咁咧，我嘗試去抑壓住佢哋咧，但係佢哋仍然係不斷咁生起。
When it came to 3 p.m., I just let go. I let any thought which wanted to come in. They could come in as much as they wanted.
晏晝3點鐘嘅時候咧，我就放低晒一切嘢，我係容許個腦裏邊咧係去生起所有任何嘅念頭。
Romance, weird fantasies, anything I would allow totally from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
愛啦，或者係甚至一切其他嘅念頭啦，從晏晝3點至4點呢段時間裏邊咧，所有嘢都係容許嘅。
And for that 1 hour, I watched every breath without missing one. It was so peaceful and calm. Not one thought came into my mind.
奇怪地咧，喺呢個鐘頭裏邊咧，我係能夠清晰地咧觀察到每一個自己嘅呼吸嘅。
That's a true story.
呢個係個真實嘅故事。
That really shocked me.
甚至咧，我自己都為之震驚。
I realized the more I tried to control my mind, the more those thoughts would come in.
我發現一樣非常重要嘅嘢，就係當咧我係不斷咁嘗試去控制住自己念頭嘅時候咧，越控制嘅時候咧，佢就會越生氣。
When I totally let go, I mean really let go, my mind is so peaceful.
當我講放下嘅時候咧，我係真真正正完全地放低所有嘢。咁呢個時候咧，我心咧就會變得非常平靜。
Remember, thoughts are just a leaf moving in the mind.
要記住一樣非常重要嘅嘢，呢啲我哋嘅所有嘅想法咧，就好似一個喐緊嘅樹葉一樣。
To stop the leaf moving, stop the wind.
要停止樹葉嘅擺動嘅時候咧，我哋要做嘅嘢咧係要停止咧風嘅吹動。
And that wind is called wanting.
而呢股風咧就係叫做貪啦。
Wanting to get rid of the thoughts or wanting the thoughts to continue keeps them going.
無論咧係希望咧個念頭生起或者消滅都好啦，呢啲都係一種追求嚟嘅。
When you don't want them to stop, when you don't want them to continue, they're just thoughts and not important to you, then they stop.
當你咧係唔想佢真正嘅唔想啦佢升起嘅時候咧，佢真正地咧佢就唔會生起。
So be careful. Don't want them to stop. Don't want them to continue.
但係你要記住一樣非常重要嘅嘢，唔好咧去刻意地追求咧，係令到佢哋咧係唔會生起。
Then they go.
咁佢就會唔生起啦。
So you've got something to experiment with now.
所以咧，大家今晚咧就可以做實驗。
And it's such a wonderful thing to understand, because then you will not be in the power of thinking. You can use thoughts when you want to, But when the mind is still, it can be still for a long time without a thought to disturb.
呢個係非常重要嘅教導嘅，因為你做到呢樣嘢嘅時候咧，你再唔會受到你自己嘅思維咧嘅操控，反而咧係能夠自在地咧駕馭自己嘅思維，我唔會俾佢哋影響。
Any other question?
有冇其他嘅問題？
Before, I'm just going to spend 5 minutes before releasing you all, just to talk about walking meditation, because many of you will not be able to sit for too long, your body will become sore, your back sore, everything else sore. So to do walking meditation, find a path somewhere in this compound. It can be even in a corridor, it can be in anywhere, maybe about 50 to 20 paces long. You start from one end, you walk to the other end, you turn around and come back again. And you do the same, walking backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. The first thing about walking meditation is to realize you don't get anywhere. Where you start is where you come back to. And that's an important thing with Dharma, with truth. You don't get anywhere, okay?
當大家稍後咧，我會以後會教做大家行禪嘅。點解咧？因為大家咧坐喺度嘅時候，可能會坐到大家臀部會有啲疼痛啦。咁以下係我教導嘅行禪方法。大家咧去揾一個地方咧，就大概15至20尺左右。咁喺一個空嘅地方嗰度咧，就開始來回咁樣徘徊。咁重點係咩咧？大家要記住咧，行禪咧係冇一個目標嘅。咁你係來回不斷徘徊嘅時候咧，你來去係冇起點同終。
And put your gaze about 2 meters in front of you. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right, don't look up, just 2 meters in front of you.
視線嘅焦點咧，請擺喺大家嘅腳嘅2米之前咧，就千祈唔好向左或者向右望。
That just make sure you don't step on anything or fall over any steps.
大家嘅視線咁樣聚焦嘅時候咧，就會確保到咧就唔會咧會踩到咧喺呢跌落嚟嘅嘢，或者係會跌低。
And walk at a natural pace.
亦都請大家咧用自然嘅步伐嚟行。
In some retreats, it's like a competition, like Olympic Games. Who can walk the slowest?
嗱，喺啲禪修營裏邊咧，當一啲人行禪嘅時候咧，其實就好似一場競賽，甚至係一場奧林匹克運動會咁樣咧，就去比較一下咧，究竟每一個咧邊一個咧係會行得最慢。
Sometimes you see someone walking really slow, and you think, I'm going to walk slower than her.
有時候咧，你見到一個人行得好慢咧，你心裏邊就會咁諗啦，我會比佢行得更加慢。
Thinking that the one who walks the slowest is the one who is most mindful.
你咧就會有呢個諗法啦，行得最慢嗰個人咧，佢嘅正念係最強嘅。
No, the one who walks the slowest is the one who is most stupid.
呢個諗法係錯嘅，行得最慢嗰個咧反而係最愚蠢。
Don't just walk naturally.
只要你自然地行就得啦。
And what should you do while you are walking?
咁你行緊嘅時候，你要做乜嘢咧？
Just be mindful, be kind. That is all.
只要做2樣嘢，就係保持正念，同埋咧去保持友善。
So you are where you are. You're just watching this one step. You're in the present moment.
咁你就係咁樣做就得㗎啦。你每次就係踏一步。
Don't be concerned where you come from. Don't be concerned where you're going to. Be in the present moment.
千祈咧就唔好諗翻你從邊度去嚟啦，或者你將會去邊度，你只要專注於當下就可以。
Be kind, so walk naturally when the body feels good.
請保持友善，令到當大家嘅身體行嘅時候係感覺良好嘅。
And then see if you can walk without talking to yourself.
嘗試下睇下可唔可以行禪嘅時候咧，就停止同自己對話。
Just be silent.
保持寧靜。
And then, just like you can become aware of the breath, when you're walking meditation, quite naturally you'll be aware of your legs walking.
正如咧，當大家靜落嚟嘅時候咧，觀呼吸禪修亦可以觀察到自己嘅呼吸啦。同樣道理，行禪嘅時候，當大家靜落嚟嘅時候咧，就可以感覺到咧大家嘅步伐係點樣。
You don't have to force yourself to notice your legs walking.
你唔需要去強迫自己咧去察覺咧大家嘅腳嘅步伐係點樣。
It happens naturally.
佢會自然地發生。
As long as you've let go of the past and future and thinking.
只要大家咧係願意放低大家嘅未來啦，同埋過去啦，甚至大家嘅思維。
And as you're watching the legs moving, your mindfulness increases. You can see more of the feelings and sensations in the leg just when one leg moves.
當大家咁樣做嘅時候咧，大家嘅正念嘅力量係會不斷咁樣提升嘅。咁大家亦都可以從呢個方法咧觀察到大家嘅感覺同埋思維係點樣。
There are hundreds of sensations of just the leg moving up and moving forward and the foot moving down. 當我哋嘅腳咧係提起啦，喺空中或者降落低嘅時候，其實咧有上百個感受係同時發生，係成個過程裏面發生嘅。And your mindfulness gets so strong, you can see or rather feel all those sensations. 而嗰一刻嘅時候咧，我哋嘅正念咧係變得非常之強啦，而強到咧我哋能夠清晰地觀察到所有嘅過程係點樣生起。And just like in the breath, or just like in the sitting down meditation, as you become more mindful and calm, what you experience becomes more fun, more joyful. 正如喺坐禪一樣啦，當大家係變得越嚟越平靜嘅時候咧，其實個經歷係會變得越嚟越愉快。Just walking backwards and forwards becomes so delightful, so much fun. 只要咧你保持行嘅時候咧，咁成個過程會變得非常之快樂。When there is peace, there is bliss. 當大家變得平靜嘅時候咧，快樂亦都會隨之生起。And that's as far as you can go with the walking meditation, just the blissful, peaceful walking. 呢個咧亦都係行禪能夠達到嘅境界嚟嘅，一個非常之快樂同埋平靜嘅走路。Please don't go into jhana when you do walking meditation. 大家千萬咧唔好喺行禪裏面進入禪那狀態。Because in jhana you lose all awareness of your body. 因為咧大家進入禪那狀態嘅時候咧，係會消失咗咧對所有身體嘅任何嘅感覺。You'll just keep on walking and walking and walking till you get to China. 咁樣咧，如果你係咁樣嘅時候咧，你會不斷咁行落去咧，就直至你行到去中國。Or till you hit the wall or fall over something. 或者你會撞到洞牆或者其他嘢。So no, just take it to the delightful walking as you done. 所以咧，大家咧去行禪嘅時候咧，就保持佢一個非常之愉快嘅走路經歷咧，就已經足夠啦。And if any of you are still thinking so much, try the walking meditation with this extra method. 如果咧在座當中咧有啲人咧係行禪嘅時候咧，仍然嘅腦裏面係不斷思維嘅時候咧，請大家嘗試下以下嘅方法。Start walking backwards and forwards, and after about going back and forth 3 times, then try some words along with the walking. 當你來回3次或者3次左右嘅時候咧，之後咧你嘗試下咧行嘅時候咧念以下嘅字句。As your left foot moves forward, say to yourself, I will die. 當你嘅左腳咧向前踏出嘅時候，同自己講一句説話：我將會死亡。As the right foot moves forward, that's for sure. 右腳踏出嘅時候，同自己講以下嘅説話：呢個係不爭嘅事實。I will die. That's for sure. 呢個係不爭嘅事實。I will die. That's for sure. 我將會死亡，呢個係無可置疑嘅事實。That will stop you thinking. 咁咧係會令到你咧停止一切嘅思維活動。First you think it's a joke. 咁如果大家當呢個笑話嘅話 then carry on. I will die. That's for sure. I will die. That's for sure. You realise that's no joke. 咁咧你繼續將呢句説話默念落去咧，直至咧你清楚知道呢個唔係一個笑話嘅時候。That's the most truthful teaching you've ever heard. 呢個咧係你生命裏面咧其中一個咧係最真實嘅教導。So you go past the idea this is a joke, you take it seriously, and then you get scared. 去到呢個層次嘅時候咧，當呢個咧再對你嚟講再唔係一個笑話，超越咗笑話嘅時候咧，你會開始咧睇到呢個實相嘅可怕程度係乜嘢。 But don't give in to fear. Keep on walking. I will die, that's for sure. Left foot, I will die. Right foot, that's for sure. Keep on walking through the fear.
但係咧，當你有呢個恐懼感覺生起嘅時候咧，千祈唔好俾呢個恐懼嘅感覺嚟支配咗自己，反而咧你要繼續默念落去，我將會死亡，呢個係一個不爭嘅事實，我將會死亡，呢個係不爭嘅事實。
And the next experience, once you've overcome fear, you feel so free. What have you got to worry about? You're going to die. Oh, I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about children. I don't have to worry about kids or anything. All these thoughts about stupid things, I'm going to die.
當你咧係開始去克服咗大家嘅恐懼嘅時候咧，其實咧你就唔會驚慌任何嘢啦。喺呢個情況之下咧，你唔會再因為你嘅子女啦、你嘅家庭啦，或者係你嘅金錢啦，有任何嘅困擾到你嘅呢啲因素，因為咧死亡對你嚟講咧係更加重要。
I'm out of here. Bye bye.
我將會離開呢度嘅，拜拜。
So a lot of times, when you realize that, all of your attachments and fears just disappear.
當你認清呢個事實嘅時候咧，你所有嘅執取啦，或者係所有嘅失望咧，都會隨你而去。
And you feel so free and so light and so peaceful.
你咧係會感覺到非常之自由同埋和平嘅。
But that's on the other side of fear.
呢個咧其實咧係驚慌嘅另外一邊嚟。
You've got to go past that fear and then you find freedom.
當你超越咗呢個驚慌嘅狀態之後咧，你真真正正獲得自由。
It's also good fun as well. I will go, that's for sure.
其實咁樣練嘅時候都係非常之有趣。
When I was in Australia, I wanted to make Buddhism more appropriate to the local culture.
當我喺澳洲嘅時候咧，我嘗試咧令到佛教咧同埋當地嘅本土文化咧係更加相容。
And I also noticed a few people being too serious with their meditation.
我亦都察覺到咧有一啲人咧係對佢哋嘅禪修咧係過分之嚴肅。
So I told the retreatants to try at least once kangaroo walking meditation.
所以咧，我建議佢哋咧最少試一次咧用澳洲袋鼠嘅禪修方法。
I told them to stand on the beginning of their walking meditation path.
我咧就叫佢哋咧喺行禪嘅禪徑嘅開頭咧就企定先。
And hold their hands like this.
之後咧就好似一隻袋鼠咁樣咧就擺自己隻手。
And don't walk along the meditation path. Hop.
咁咧就唔係喺個禪修徑上面行啦，反而咧就跳，好似袋鼠咁跳。
Like a kangaroo.
好似袋鼠咁。
But hop mindfully.
但係咧跳嘅時候要保持正念。
So hop, 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 hop to the end of the path, turn around, hop, 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 hop.
所以咧跳，直至去到盡頭咧，翻轉頭都係咁跳。
That's Australian kangaroo walking meditation.
呢個係澳洲式嘅袋鼠嘅禪修方法。
A few people did that. Other people burst out laughing.
有啲人真係做到嘅，但係有另外一啲人咧就係咁喺度笑。
And everyone relaxed.
但係咁樣嘅時候咧，佢哋亦都能夠放鬆自己。
So if you see someone having a very hard time in this retreat, having a lot of suffering, out of compassion, you do. Kangaroo.
所以喺呢個禪修營裏邊咧，當大家發覺咧，大家身邊有人係有好多嘅苦難或者好多痛苦嘅時候咧，你嘗試用呢個方法去介紹佢俾佢哋。
If you're too serious, you're too stiff, you can never get meditation.
咁如果咧你哋嘅身體過分之繃緊嘅時候咧，其實你哋係禪修唔到。
Teddy bear, a bit of kindness solves the problem.
紅啤啤啦，同埋一啲友善嘅心態咧，其實就係呢個解決嘅方法。
Okay. Now I wanted to make sure we finish a little bit early. It's only 10 minutes early, but 10 minutes is 10 minutes. So thank you all for coming. There's more meditation tomorrow. A lovely day tomorrow. A day you don't have to do anything. Oh, what bliss. I don't have any work to do, no husband, no temple. Oh, what bliss.
咁咧，我哋係提早今個晚上咧係提早10分鐘完結嘅。咁聽日咧請大家享受一個完全冇任何世俗嘅困擾嘅一個日子啦，咁就唔需要考慮任何丈夫啊、家庭啊或者寺院嘅所有事務。
So have a good night's sleep. And I'll see you in the morning. I don't care what time I see you. If you really need to sleep more, then sleep more.
請大家希望大家有個非常之優質嘅睡眠啦。咁如果大家聽朝見到如果要瞓多啲嘅時候就瞓多啲。
There will be no bell. Please don't bring any pieces of wood.
所以咧，聽朝咧就唔會有任何嘅打板咧嚟提醒大家起身。
At the very least, your tummy will ring just before breakfast tomorrow.
最低限度咧，你個肚咧就會喺早餐前咧就會自動地開始響啦。
If you want to come here anytime, you can come here at anytime.
咁如果你喺任何時間想嚟禪修嘅時候咧，歡迎嚟到禪堂禪修。
Okay, so peaceful dream.
好，所以就係咁多先。